Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano live stream. I think we can call them regular at this point. I have the usual three guests here. Their channels are linked in the description down below. I'm sure everyone is subscribed at this stage, but if not, you can get the links there. Josh, Farid, Pete, very welcome. And thanks as always for joining.
It's a pleasure.
Always, even at the butt crack of dawn.
Yep.
Nice. You're looking fresher this morning.
Like I said, I washed my face.
A nice new fancy setup behind you too, looking good. So anyone coming in, let us know if everything's coming through clear, that you can hear us. Audio is okay from all of us, picture, all of that good stuff, apart from Cardano is dead. If anyone has anything else to add, let us know where you're coming in from, or any topics you'd like us to discuss. We've got a few rough topics to go through, from latest news, different Cardano projects that we're each watching, news items, Bitcoin halving happening in 3 days from now, as far as I can see. Market's not looking great, but I think lots of that is down to world events as well as what's happening in crypto. Probably a few other topics that will come up. And once I see audio is good, we have PC and Performance from St. Louis. Good to have you guys with us. I think we should be live on Twitter and on YouTube. And book.io reached out earlier today and gave me 4 books to give away during this. So we're still trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do that. But we'll figure that out in the next few minutes and give them away at different stages throughout the stream. When is the forks? The next hard fork for Cardano, I don't think we have a timeline on, or an exact date on that yet. The Chang hard fork, there was talk of late Q2. I would say we're probably looking at Q3, really. Hopefully early Q3. That's when we will get governance put into the hands of the community. And by the call that I had with Philip that last week, talking about ZK proofs and what's happening, I think we're getting more scalability than I thought myself. So we might get into the hard fork at some point. But we'll go around the table. Josh, you're right beside me. What's your current thoughts or anything you're watching at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just trying not to panic. I know the rest of the world is, but like, I'm just you know, this kind of stuff is expected. I think Farid, I forget which call we were on, but I remember you saying that you were expecting one more dip down before going back up again, and here we are. This is, you know, this is it. This is the dip down. So good call. I'm still as optimistic as ever on crypto, still as optimistic as ever on Cardano. I think that everything is kind of acting as it normally does. So, yeah, I'm not panicking, just kind of cruising through while everybody else is in panic everywhere, and looking forward to the long-term future of this industry.
Nice. Pete, what's the current thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know how to predict or even look at the markets at the moment, especially with so many global events happening. I know last Bitcoin halving we had the pandemic, but you know, this one we've got like drones and ballistic missiles launching across the Middle East. So you know, it's completely unpredictable. So who knows where we'll be in a couple of months' time after the halving, if the markets will recover as we expected them to. But you know, DCA all the way. Hold out, wait out, and we'll see where we go from there. But you know, projects on Cardano are still building. They're still delivering like all these amazing things, and there's a couple of interesting highlights, but we'll get into them a little bit later.
Yeah, and keep the questions coming in there. I see lots coming in there. It's great to see. The more participation we have, the more you guys share it out, the better the conversation we can all have together here. And Farid, what's your thoughts? You're as busy as ever with the interviews and content that's coming out, keeping me up to date with what's going on in Cardano.
Yeah, I think both of the gentlemen already touched on it. It's been pretty crazy over the course of the past like 3 or 4 days. Looking at just like the broader crypto market, I've been using this as an opportunity to sort of pick up some of the tokens that I missed on the initial run up. So I actually don't see this as a bad thing. I kind of felt like the market was running away without me at one point. So as unfortunate as it is for some people, I am sort of happy about this sort of break that we have in the market. But short of that, as Pete mentioned earlier, projects are still building. So, when price was down, they were building. When price was up, they're building. And now that price is down again, nothing has changed. So from a fundamentals perspective, I'm excited for, just a broader outlook. Lots of new projects here on the channel. And as you mentioned there, Paul, just trying to keep up with interviews, updates, and just so much building going on. So excited as always to be here and to dive into some of those updates.
Yeah, nice. I'm going to take a quick look at the comments here, and then we might get into some of the topics that we have. But if anyone has topics, do let us know down below. And actually, for one of the books, I'll have a look after and see. Let me see what I have. Book.io, for anyone joining in now, sent us over 2 white papers, a Frankenstein audiobook, and the FBI war on Tupac. So for people who share out the stream on Twitter or X, then we'll pick a random person who shares it out towards the end. And I'm looking at the guys here. I have one other idea of one question around Book.io that I'm going to ask when we get a few more people in. And then I'm going to leave the other 2 to some of you guys to figure out how to give them away during this. So let me see what I've missed here. Is the fork a big thing? I think it's a massive thing for Cardano in terms of governance being enabled and being handed over to the community. The community will be in control of the treasury. So the community can decide the future direction of Cardano. So where previously we have been reliant on IOG or CF being the ones, I think more so IOG driving the direction, the development of Cardano, then it goes back to the community. So then we get to say in where we push the narrative of Cardano. For me, I want to see a big push on scaling. Obviously, we've a lot of good things going. I think that's an area that I'd like to see a push on. And there is more coming in the hard fork for scaling too in terms of ZK, but maybe we'll get on to that later on in this one. Have we used smart contract or wrapped smart contracts on Milkomeda? I haven't used them much. Pete, I don't know on your blue shift time, had you used them much, or either of the other 2 guys?
Yeah, while I was working at Blue Shift, the team implemented the full integration of wrap smart contracts to the DEX. So it was definitely integrated well, implemented nicely on that particular platform. I don't think there was too much more uptake afterwards. TangleSwap also released their DEX was a direct, the only integration with Milkomeda was through wrap smart contracts. So it really depends on how much the community picks up and takes on those both those projects for the growth of Milkomeda and wrap smart contracts in general. But from what I'm seeing at the moment, there's still a lot of resistance or not much interest in using Milkomeda to build or even just to interact with.
Yeah, I think that goes not just for Milkomeda, it's anything outside Cardano in general, and even layer 2s when hopefully we do have more options for Cardano. Right now, I don't think there's that much demand for it, but that's definitely a topic I'd like to get onto in a few minutes, is kind of cross-chain and projects not just being on Cardano and looking out across the space and the pros and cons of that. So USDM retail launch this month. I don't know if that is already open for retail. Does any of you guys know?
No,
I haven't
not
seen
yet. Yeah, I don't know when that's supposed to happen. I'm not sure if they have released a date on that yet. But I don't know. I should follow up on that.
Yeah, I'm not actually. Farid, did you hear anything on retail opening up for USDM?
I have not, and surprisingly, we haven't gotten their newsletter updates. So typically, they're good about putting those out, but we haven't gotten one since the official launch. So I'll probably check in here if Josh doesn't beat me to it. But as of right now, I know they mentioned, at most a couple of weeks, which I think right now is just about that timeline. So hopefully, it's imminent. Within maybe the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, no later than the end of this month. Excuse me.
Yeah, and just looking here for the Charlie 3 dashboard. So the latest in terms of what has been minted. So there is 230,000 US dollars now worth of USDM. The last update. So what's that? $16,000 came in the last 24 hours. I've seen there was another comment about USDC. Will we see it on Cardano? But for me, right now with USDM, people are asking why aren't we seeing more people coming in and minting? And I would say looking around the community as well, I don't see that much out there right now for people to actually get in and use any extra incentives to mint USDM. I know on DEXs you can get in and you can put it in, but when you put it in on a DEX, outside of an order book DEX, you are open to impermanent loss. But I think we really need to see an uptake in the offerings for the likes of lending and borrowing platforms, or maybe there's other things out there as well that can offer extra interest for people to come in. Because if the interest rates are only going to be kind of less than 5%, then people are probably, they can use their stable coins for other things. But if we can start to get up over 10%, even if it's only for a short period of time to encourage liquidity, then I think that would be very good for USDM. And even USDC looking in and seeing that we have a stable coin right now, a fiat-backed one on Cardano, and the uptake isn't great, then it's not really going to hurry along that conversation. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, we really need that liquidity, but the incentives, it's interesting because when I put out a couple of USDM videos, the comments were talking about the incentives of how other ecosystems provided rewards for their users. So for, I can't remember the platforms, but when they minted directly USD whatever on their platform, they would earn yield directly from that ecosystem itself. So they didn't need to jump then to a DEX as well. They could just mint it and then earn APR from that. So whatever interest they're getting from the bank, whatever is happening there, it's being fed back to the user. The whole security side of thing, in terms of the SEC, could be an issue. Hence, maybe that's why we don't see anything on the Cardano side of things. But the bank issuer license, I think the rules and regulations are quite strict. So that's why USDM took that approach. But on the DEX side of things, MinSwap did have that really nice APR on the stable swaps. So if once we can mint USDM and bring it on chain and have it there within the MinSwap ecosystem, you could use the stable swap to provide liquidity for and earn some of the rewards from trading between JED and USDM, for example. The permanent loss shouldn't be that bad because, when the tokens go up and down, we're just losing out on another stable coin that should be still worth what it's originally worth. So it should be good in that respect. So permanent loss isn't a huge factor, and you still earn the rewards, then the APR out of it. Yeah,
that's a good point. Actually, is there yield farming on the stable swap pairs now on MinSwap?
Yeah, just pull it up. Last I looked, the APR was like 30-something%, which was insane. But that was closer to launch. And because I don't have any, I can't put it in.
Yeah, it's we definitely need more things like that to encourage people to come in and mint and be able to earn yield without much risk to it. And stable swaps definitely does help. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I think Farid and Pete have both done videos on stable swaps and what they mean and how it's different. High level, they're still part of AMM DEXs, but they use a different formula for calculating how the curve works. So it's not the two assets multiplied. With standard AMM, you have the two assets multiplied to get the total, but with stable swaps, you add them together. So that should give you far less impermanent loss. It try and keeps the two assets, I suppose, stable. It's in the name, really. But Farid, Pete, any thoughts on USDM and encouraging liquidity?
Yeah, I think it's definitely needed. I think it's definitely needed. People have been asking about it, and I think for the longest, people were saying, "Hey, let's hold off on USDC until we get USDM. And now that it is here, I think that, you know, the team does have to step up. And the biggest thing I would say is just communication. You know, if there is a potential delay, if they see any hurdles, I think the earlier they're able to just state that to the community, the better. Otherwise, you will begin to see, I think, over time, more and more FUDs kind of slipping in towards the USDM team. I won't name names here, but there's other content creators that for some reason consistently, you know, want to pick on the fact that we don't have USDC on Cardano and the fact that USDM has been a failure, which in my personal eyes, I'm like, this is homegrown. We need time. You know, I think for some reason people were expecting USDM to launch with like $20 billion worth of liquidity. I'm just like, that's not realistic at all, you know? Now, granted, I would have expected at least for us to be closer to 1 million, maybe a couple of million, and maybe we get there as soon as they open up retail. But just generally speaking, I think a lot of people have tried to take USDM and compare that directly to USDC or USDT. And I'm like, guys, we're talking about two completely different products, right? So I think the biggest thing from the USDM team is just probably managing expectations now that the extra product is out there to hopefully sort of curve some of that FUD. Otherwise, I do think that over the long term, people will begin to like lose interest or potential credibility when it comes to you using USDM. So of course, you know, I'm all for the team. I've spoken with them, had plenty of conversations with them, but I think the biggest thing that they can probably do right now is just sort of set expectations for what the community should realistically expect, you know, moving forward.
Yeah, it's I think it's unfortunate that there wasn't more liquidity set out. Even as you say, if it was closer to 1 million, it would have looked a lot better for, I think, encouraging other people to come in with liquidity as well. If there was more initially, I think the smaller amount nearly scared some people off too, in that they're like, oh, well, if other people aren't putting it in, then why should I put it in? And it's nearly, you need to get to that 1 million to start tipping the scale where people feel more comfortable in getting involved in it. But Josh, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I expect that this is where we're at because it's an accessibility thing. It's available to not even all 50 states in the U.S. and it's only available to institutional entities at this moment. So yeah, we don't even have like access to the massive amount of money that could put money in there. We don't have access to the retail. We don't have access to the people that would actually be incentivized. And what's the price of USDM now? Is it still above $1 on the open market?
I think it's fairly close to $1 now.
Okay, so it's balanced out then.
Hold on, that's in ADA. Oh, it really shows the price of ADA. I'd rather not see that right now. It's sitting at 96 cents right now.
Yeah. Okay. So it's right there. Yeah. I expect that it's more of a stage thing. Everybody's always impatient in this industry, and they want everything to happen right away. They want stuff to, you know, new developments to send everything to the moon and everything. And it's just like, you know, that's this particular niche of the industry operates differently. You know, we build things right. We build things so that they can be sustainable and used into the long run. USDM is far from a failure. You know, they're building everything right. They're doing things the way that they should be done. And yeah, it's a small amount of liquidity. It could have been like, I don't know, like the alternative to this is that like maybe they talked to more institutions that would have promised to put liquidity into it at the beginning of it. But like, I don't know, in my mind, that's just kind of manipulation of the market to make it look like things are successful. Things are still being built here. And you know, integrating something like USDC as an alternative isn't like the solution. It's also going to take a while to have that integrated. It'll probably be like a year before we see USDC on Cardano. And it's not going to look anything substantially different from what we've got here. It's you know, just it's playing out. You know, this is how things are supposed to look. Chill.
Yeah, I think even with USDC, if we got USDC on Cardano right now and we still didn't have the incentives for people to actually be able to earn yield and interest on it, then we're going to have a similar situation that we don't have that much USDC coming into the ecosystem, even if it is available natively on it. To me, it's all about the incentives. And even at the minute, the trading volumes, if you look across Cardano, they are small, like 24-hour DEX volume. This doesn't include AXO, but I think even AXO, the last time I checked, was under 50K a day or something like that as well. So it's small, the actual trading volume. So it's USDC would help that, but it wouldn't help it on its own. We do need the extra incentives and the ability to do things with it to bring it in. And I'm sure if we did get it, then you would get the reaction from the different dApps that are out there. So if we could see that from the dApps for USDM, I think that could be a good step to go forward. And you can see MinSwap has gone to number 1. Genius Yield was the biggest for trading volume for it for a few days there. But MinSwap, probably with the stable swaps coming in, if you're trading USDM against any other asset, still just be careful because liquidity is still fairly thin when you're trading it, even against ADA. What else have we got in the comments then before we move on?
We've got some interesting things with the trading volume. Genius Yield, about maybe 6 hours ago, put out a post about their trading bot. So all these other ecosystems have trading bots, and a lot of the volume is from those bots as well. So hopefully we'll see some uptake with that from a bot perspective. So I've always wanted to be able to trade on chain on Cardano with a bot. So Genius Yield kind of put the code out there. So hopefully we can manipulate that and do some interesting things. I'm assuming it's all within the Genius Yield ecosystem. So that's totally fine. Batchless, less fees, makes kind of good with the order book side of things. So maybe we'll see an uptake of volume from that side of things.
Yeah, I seen that post actually. I didn't get to dig into it yet to look into the bots or try and set one up, but I like what they're doing. Even what they do with it's not a batcher, but it's what you call it, the matching bots that they have.
SORs,
yes.
Smart Order Router.
I can never remember the name of that, but it's open to anybody. Anybody can come in and use it. Anyone in the community, I suppose, who has some technical experience. I know the last time I talked to the team, they were talking about being able to set it up with Docker. I don't know if they have done that yet.
Yes, they have. So I set mine up with Docker originally. And it's pretty simple. So that and Maestro API, it's pretty straightforward, and it doesn't use much resources compared to running a batcher on Cardano.
Okay.
It's good.
Nice. I definitely have to get one set up. So if there's Docker, anyone not familiar with Docker, it's nearly an out-of-the-box solution. If you can follow a few commands, a few steps on Linux to be able to run it. Maybe when I do set it up, I could do a video on it. Let me see what else I have here. Questions on Aptos there somewhere. Not a chain I have looked much into. It was in relation to CryptoVisor selling all his ADA to get into Aptos. People ask me why I don't respond about videos or things he says about Cardano, and to be honest, I don't see the videos, so that's why I don't get into responding on it. But Aptos, have any of you guys looked into it?
Nope.
Looking up right now, but
and likewise, I don't see CryptoVisor's videos. Like I've been accused of copying his videos, but I just don't see them. I don't watch them. I don't see them. So
yeah. So what else do we have? It probably leads into cross-chain. Okay, so it's become a bigger topic lately, and Cornucopias is the latest one to kick off the discussion, argument, whatever way you want to call it, about projects looking to go cross-chain. So I think here we're all fans of what Cornucopias are trying to build. For me, as a holder from day one of Copy and of different NFTs, from the vehicles to the custom domes, and bought them all during the actual sales, I think it's a good move for the project to go out. They're not leaving Cardano, but what they're doing is opening up their potential user base for the game to more people. So they're gone to Base. Base is one of the fastest, I think it was the fastest ever chain to get to 1 million users, something like that. Cornucopia's actually had the post out about that. So to me, I think it's a good thing they're expanding. It's a good thing for the project that they're expanding out. Parts of it are still remaining on Cardano. And if users want to get access to parts of that, then maybe it pulls liquidity back into Cardano, pulls users to come in and gives more exposure to Cardano as well for projects that are going out. I know if a project completely gets up, takes everything they have on Cardano and moves to another chain, that's a different thing than going cross-chain. But I think what the likes of Cornucopias are doing, that's not leaving Cardano. It's expanding out to open up their own user base. And as a project, you have to look at these things. We briefly touched on liquidity on Cardano right now. It is very small. So you need to be able to look out there. And long-term, a lot of newer people coming into crypto won't care what chain they're on to start with anyway. Some will start to learn about different aspects later on, and different things become important to them: speed, security, decentralization, and then they can start to expand out. But people who come in first don't really care. So you need to be able to get out in front of them. And to me, it's not about saying you have to look at Cardano, you have to look at Cardano. When I started the channel maybe it's over 3 years ago now, it was talking all about Cardano and what Cardano had. But at this stage, I think it should be talking more about the projects, and you need to look into this project or get into this one or that type of thing. And then they start to explore the chain after that, because to the normal user, the Cardano chain doesn't do much for them. It's the actual dApps that are built on it that are more important. And when them dApps are across other chains, then in turn, that does give exposure back. But I'll open it up to anyone else after my rant. And feel free to disagree or agree or whatever.
You know, I 100% agree with you. I like the thing that I think in crypto people don't seem to understand, and the reason why Charles consistently says the future of this industry is cross-chain. It's not about which blockchain you're going to exist on. The reason is because projects in this industry long-term are not going to do well by taking the isolationist approach, by suggesting that you have to come to me in order for you to use my product. The most successful, most like the most biggest times of human flourishing, the most economically prosperous times in human history have been in times where trade has boomed from multiple countries from around the world. The isolationist countries did not grow from staying away from the rest of the world and not interacting with anything. Value is created from trading within different ecosystems. That's how things grow. So the in the Cardano ecosystems, the ones that are going to be creating those inflows of liquidity, that trade of value, the things that's going to bring people into the Cardano ecosystem, it's the projects that are either expanding cross-chain to exist in multiple blockchain ecosystems, or they're creating value in external markets outside of the industry of blockchain. You know, like World Mobile is a perfect example of that. They're out there doing things that are creating value, providing services to people outside of the ecosystem. And that economic activity, that trade, that creation of value is coming back to Cardano. That's how it's supposed to work. That's why cross-chain is the future. It's, you know, these projects that aren't expanding cross-chain, the struggle that I think they're going to have is they have to wait for people to come to them after projects are establishing those audiences and creating those inflows on other blockchains. But the people that are just in Cardano, they've got to wait, or they've got to get on centralized exchanges or something to be able to create those inflows of liquidity. You know, people can hear about your project if you're building something, but they're not going to buy it if they can't access it. And that's why you have to create more access points. So that's my rant on the whole situation. It's not just an advantageous move. It's not just a good strategic idea. It's a necessity. You have to be able to get out there and be accessible.
And I think also people have got to start using their ADA for things. Like a lot of people are just still staking ADA to a stake pool, which is, you know, I thank every delegate out there that are delegating to us. But, you know, the ADA needs to start moving to smart contracts. It needs to start moving to these applications, dApps, and start trading with other various project tokens out there. Because if the ADA is just sitting there, it's not going to be counted in the TVL stats. It's not going to earn you that really high yield that you could potentially earn as well. With staking rewards going down, it's, you know, you've got to start looking for other opportunities. So hopefully people do realize that and start moving ADA around a little bit more. And then that's where you're going to get some of these gains. I know a lot of comments in my videos, it's like, you know, ADA's not doing anything. It's a stable coin itself. Do something with it, you know, actually move it, trade it, and you actually see some value and get some gains from other parts of the ecosystem.
Yeah, I think that's a good point as well. Just to double down on is that a lot of, we see trading volumes and everything are very low, but that is because a lot of people just hold ADA and are happy to hold it and get the staking rewards. But like you say, staking rewards are going down. And to me, having different allocations, I would never use all of my ADA, but I definitely use portions of it in different aspects of DeFi and different things that you can do. And I think it's a good strategy to have for people. As well as that, I think people in Cardano right now, or at least over the last few years, have been used to not being able to do anything with their ADA. It just sat there staking. And now people coming back in, hopefully as this bull run goes on, and it's not over. I don't think it's over. There's questions about when we think it's going to finish. We might get to that soon. But I think then people will start to come back into crypto and realize the other things that you can do now with the different DEXs, lending, borrowing, synthetics, different things that are going to be coming to the chain as well that can help you earn that bit extra. So, Farid, thoughts on the topic?
I did want to mention a couple of things just in response to what Josh had mentioned about the multi-chain piece there. I am fully behind a lot of the teams that have gone multi-chain. This isn't the first one that's getting FUD for it. Cornucopias, of course, they're not going to be the last. I would just say I think they have to be clear in how they deliver the message. And what really surprised me with Cornucopias' example is they already had a foundation that was multi-chain, right? So starting on BNB, coming to Cardano, branching out to ETH, and then Base. But like nobody was up in arms when they announced, you know, spreading out to ETH or getting liquidity listed on Uniswap. Nobody fudded Pavia for moving, I think it was a quarter of their token supply over to ETH. And so for me, I'm not sure what was different this time. I'm not sure if it was just the delivery or just a few sort of squeaky wheels, right, that typically make a lot of the noise. But even with World Mobile, right, for the longest, they talked about using their own sort of SDKs. I think they started off with Cosmos initially, and then they switched it up to something else. But then it wasn't really till like a much bigger account had asked, hey, what's going on with the tech? And then they said, hey, we're going to sort of shift things around, that people then begin to say, hey, World Mobile is also leaving Cardano, they're equivalent to X and Y other project. So I'm not sure exactly where it comes from. I think it's completely unfounded. You take a look, for example, at Apple, founded in California. You take a look at Nike, founded in Oregon. Where would Nike be today if they were to just have said, hey, we've launched in this particular state, these rules and laws apply to us, and we have a great business here, but we're not going to expand anywhere. If people want your product elsewhere, it only makes sense to go and bring your product where the people are, right? As Josh mentioned, instead of trying to force people to come to your chain where they might already have some sort of opinion or view about that, right? So I want to highlight that there, but to also look at the other side of the coin too, though. To be fully fair, this does also introduce some complexities, right? So not only does the Cornucopias team have to understand the tech on Cardano, right, for the NFT marketplace, but now they've also added the ability, or the fact that they also have to understand the tech on Ethereum, BNB, Base, etc. On top of that, there's also security risks, right? So let's say Cardano isn't found to be security, but then for some reason, ETH or some other network that they have branched out to is found to be security. So again, just to be fully fair, I back going multi-chain, but I also understand that it does come with some risks. So I don't think it's fair for every team to do it, especially early on. But I think a team that's shown us that they can deliver and that they can build, like Cornucopias has shown that they are more than capable of handling the challenge. So for me, again, it's nothing more than a lot of FUD swirling around about them. And again, creators creating content stating that they've left incorrectly, highlighting, you know, what was clearly stated by the Cornucopias team.
Yeah, I think that's it's a good point. And sometimes it is in the delivery as well by projects, in that you look at Cornucopias, the Copy token actually started on BNB. The first Copy token I got was on BNB. So the token has been out there for a long time. The base nodes have been for sale on Bay, or the Copy nodes have been for sale on Base for the last few months, but people didn't really pick up on it at that point. So I think the same with World Mobile. They were using the Cosmos SDK, and they had their own AYA as well with what they were trying to build. And there was no real talk about them leaving Cardano until they said they were pivoting from using the Cosmos SDK. And then all the talk was about, oh, they're leaving Cardano. And I don't think we still have the full answers. We got some good information in the last Earth Node operator call. I don't think we can still talk about that yet, can we? Is that still embargoed? Or I'm not going to take the chance on talking about it, but hopefully by the next time we do a stream, we'll be able to talk a bit more about what the future holds there and what they're looking to do. But what else have I missed in the comments? Actually, for anyone joining late on Twitter, I see we've got about 10 shares on the post so far on Twitter of this video. So what we're going to do is Buck reached out before the stream, gave us 4 books to give away. So for one random person at the end of this who shares it on Twitter or X, we're going to give away a book to them. Also, Buck have BookCon coming up fairly soon. I think, is it next week or something? So
this weekend.
For Pete's getting the merch. I need merch. They've been teasing with some of the stuff they've been putting out on Twitter. Looked really, really good. I'd like some of it. I'll send them my address and a physical address if they want to send any over. But for one of the books, what we'll do is the first person in the comments to let us know where BookCon is going to happen. Then I'll send over a book after this. They can reach out after this to me and I will send it over. So just drop it in the comments down below. And I'm looking at you guys then to decide on the other 2 because I've decided on them too. So any suggestions, or do you need more time to think?
I got an idea. How about tell us which blockchains Book has expanded to? First people to get all of them.
Are they on more than 2 right now?
Yes. Yep.
2 active. Do they still go on the biggest? No, well, we'll come back to it after. I need to ask that question too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they've got, I think, 3 that are pretty active, and then one that I'm not sure.
Yeah, one that was just mentioned there, I forgot about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even guess. I know 2.
Yeah, I had forgot about one that was mentioned. It was the first one there that was mentioned. So we'll wait and see. No one has given us the location of BookCon yet. What people are...
Do you need to give them the address to go to the website?
I let them figure it out. Although actually, if people are on mobile, then they're not able to go away from I shouldn't be telling people to do this actually, because they have to go away from the stream here to go to the website to try and find out. YouTube need to fix that you can keep watching unless you're premium, or is it premium or whatever YouTube's version of it is. You can't get away from it.
Free because like I'm on the stream right now and I'm browsing on my web browser. So at least on the iPhone, I think you can do it.
Okay. Let me see.
I can't do that, Josh. If I leave YouTube, it gets it stops.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a premium member.
Oh,
I'm still not going to buy an iPhone just for that, though. No one has got all 3 chains yet. And McKinney, like Texas, is that the first?
That's it. Yep.
Okay, Villian, if you drop me a message on Twitter or drop me an email, paul@cardanowithpaul.com, and I will organize. I'll need an address from you. I just need to verify that it is you. I might get you to comment something under this video after just to verify it is your account, and then send me an address and I can send over one of the books after this. Thanks for being a part of it. I think we're just going to have to let that other one run, Josh, on what are all the chains. I think they have all been mentioned in the comments,
but not all in the same
mentioned.
comment.
Yeah. So what we're on this, what are the projects are you guys looking at or updates that there's lots of different things going on that sometimes I don't talk about different projects, and there's good updates out there and lots of them. So Farid, what are you looking at lately? And we'll go right around with everyone then.
Yeah, sure thing.
And this isn't financial advice for anyone.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna hit it from of just projects that have come on my radar, not necessarily what I'm investing in, right? So, I think there's just too many projects that come out. Then I have money to invest in. But to answer your question, I think the latest one that I highlighted was actually Nuvola, right? And I saw you interacting with them actually as well, Paul. So Deepin Aggregator, right? Basically putting some of the revenue by running nodes into NVL token holders. Really interesting concept. I hadn't heard of that business model prior to them. But after releasing that video, there was an NFT project that hit me up. I think it's called House of Titans, with a very sort of similar structure where they will operate nodes for different Deepin projects, and they'll basically take those rewards and distribute that to their community, right? Which is NFT based. Very similar to the Goofy Gophers, right? Or the Goofy Gopher Mining Club, I think is what it's called, where they basically run Bitcoin miners, right? And they do the same exact thing. They distribute those rewards back over to GGMC NFT holders. So again, pretty interesting concept there. That was one that came on my radar. There's another one, which is an AI one called Raker Maker, I believe, which is a market AI bot. It basically helps you to hone in on your trading strategy. It is a paywall service, so I didn't actually get the chance to jump in and use it, but you can imagine, signals, alerts, trends, those kinds of things being predicted using AI, and that's supposed to be built on Cardano. Again, these are all sort of like new projects, so definitely do be careful, do your own due diligence. And then there is also Pandora by the team that released a lending pond, if I'm not mistaken. So now they're going and shifting into an NFT marketplace, if I'm not mistaken. And I've seen a little bit of news around, some of the performance, some of the upgrades that they're applying. And I really support them because they're homegrown. They've been here for a really long time. I don't think that, they have the resources that some of these other sort of players in that space have, but they continue to innovate. So those are just probably three of multiple projects that I've had pitched to me in the past couple of days. I know that there's a bunch of other wallets. The Tokyo wallet recently announced, Vesper doing their web browser, and then also Lace getting some updates there as well. So again, quite a bit going on, probably more than I can keep up with, but I'll let Pete and Josh speak as well.
Yeah, that Raker one, actually, we were doing something with Data Markets the other day, and it came up as one of the trending, and I didn't know why, but that's one that I must look into after. But yeah, some of the good projects there, and in around the DeFi or the Deepin narrative, I think is definitely, like we talk about it here, I talk about it a lot on the channel. I think it's a big one for this cycle, and it's good to see projects getting involved in that. And just on this, Damir was the first, as far as I know, to get all three, or this is all three chains. Yes, Josh?
Yes. Yep. That's it.
Damir, if you do the same, message me on Twitter or drop me an email, paul@cardanoandpaul.com, and I'll sort out getting the book sent over to you after this. So there's still one book left. We've 15, 20 minutes left in the stream for Farid or Pete to come up with an idea to give one away. But projects, Pete, that you're looking at lately or that have caught your eye?
There are so many. But Book.io has always been like one of those projects I think is top notch. They're looking at ways to make it really super easy for grandmas to come in and start buying digital books. So any project that is taking that type of approach, I think is a definite winner. It's onboarding those users without even them knowing that they're being onboarded onto the crypto space. So definitely Book.io. I know at BookCon, they're going to have a whole bunch of different announcements in regards to different things they're going to be releasing as well. So just keep an eye out for what they're talking about at BookCon. So that's going to be really interesting. The other projects, there's just so many at the moment. Nuvola, I agree. Anything that works on top of Deepin at the moment, I think is a really good play. And they're just making the onboarding for it so much easier. I know, Paul, you did a video about setting up an Igon node. I tried. My internet connection is not fast enough to run an Igon node, especially at home. And that's what I wanted to do. So this project, getting some of the NVL tokens and being a part of their ecosystem is my way into the Igon ecosystem. Otherwise, I can't do it. So that's definitely a project I'm looking into. But then some of these like really small projects that probably won't blow up hugely, but I think are quite interesting. Vira, they're a social media network that just launched using Cardano Press for their token gating and wallet gating ecosystem. So you can use that platform, very Cardano centric. A lot of new features are going to be coming out of that, and communities building in there. So I'm quite interested in that one. Also, they have their own token for the creator ecosystem there. So if you're creating cool content, you're helping contribute to the ecosystem itself, you get rewarded in the Vira token. So that's a nice play there too. And then this other one that just popped up my radar, Cardano Phone. I know like Solana has the Solana Saga, and it's either good, either bad. People hate it, people love it. But there's a Cardano version of that now too. So they're working on building it out for the Google Pixel 7 and then 8 and 8 Pro. They're going to be ROMs for them. So I might pick up a Google 7, an old one, and they just flash that so I can experience what they're building, give the team some feedback. But they're going through a Kickstarter crowdfunding thing later on in the year to deliver a completely turnkey Cardano phone thing there. So something interesting to watch. If they can pull it off with like a deep wallet integration with like a Tokyo or something like that, so it's a bit more of a seamless experience and making the mobile DeFi experience better, great. Otherwise, it's just another phone. It's just another device. So they've got to deliver something extra to make it really worthwhile, I think.
Yeah, that phone one, I seen your video earlier on as well, and it's interesting. I didn't think we were going to see a Cardano phone. I seen some memes before, should we do one? I didn't think anyone would actually do it. So interesting to see what way it goes. I think mobile for Cardano has been left a bit behind, not actual phones, but in terms of usability. We have Vesper has really helped step that up. Tokyo looks like it could be a really good wallet too. So I think we're going to start to catch up on that side, and maybe there's a use case for the phones there. But wallets is something, depending on time, we might get onto. Josh, projects?
Let's see here. I've been kind of doing some more research on the RWA side of things. So there's Twin, who's been on my radar for a long time. The CMO over there, Lisa Wessel, has been a long time friend of mine. Yeah, I'm really impressed with what they're building. I'm gonna meet up with them tomorrow. I wrote a script for them to create a video about them like 6 months ago, but because I put so few videos out per week, I haven't been able to actually get to it, and that one just like got lost in the crowd of stuff. But I really need to put out a video on them. And then Palmyra, the Palm token, they're going through their IDO right now on Cardano and then also on Ergo. That one is really impressive. Their market research shows that they can tap into like a $1.1 trillion market that nobody is paying attention to, nobody is serving. So it's not just like, oh, it's a big market that like they can get into, but it's like they may actually be able to capture a substantial portion of that market because nobody is serving them except for Palmyra. And I love the people that are building there. So yeah, that's some stuff that I'm doing some deeper research on. And then obviously I'm always watching Cornucopias. Believe it or not, like the expansion to base situation is not the biggest thing that Cornucopias has going on. They've got a ton of stuff that they're looking to release in the near future. And I've been researching stuff about like avatar creators because they're going to launch theirs, and it may very well be like one of the most advanced avatar creators that we've seen in gaming. I don't think I've mentioned here before, but like I'm a part of the team now. I'm Cornucopia's new social media manager, and I've been doing that for like a month now. So a lot of the posts that you see coming out of Cornucopia's, I will have written them. If one of the insights that I've gotten from being on the inside of the team is that they're working with a lot of industry experts, a lot of like gaming technology people that have worked on some really big games that if I mention them, you would recognize their names right away. That they're like big, legit AAA rated games in the greater industry. They've taken a look at what Cornucopias has in different areas, and they are impressed. They think that what Cornucopias has built, both the game loops and the system and everything, it's actually like really top tier level stuff that the traditional gaming industry is going to be blown away by. So there's a lot back there that's coming out soon, and you know, the whole base expansion thing is honestly, it's just another access point where a lot of people are hanging out so that we can get more people into the game. But like the game is the most exciting part of it. There's so much happening back there.
I still can't beat your lap time, Josh.
We'll
come back to that, yeah.
Yeah, we will. I'll wait for that rematch.
That's something I don't know if I could stream that on my connection here. I don't know if my PC will be fast enough for us to race and stream that, but maybe we can record that someday and include it as the end for one of these streams if we all get into Cornucopia someday and have a race. Cool.
That would be fun.
It could be a good one. And if I upgrade my card, I think I have a 3090, but I think I would need a 40 something to be able to stream and play the game at the same time. So if the bull market continues, maybe I'll upgrade that, and then we could stream then. Yeah. But a lot of really good projects there. I suppose official congratulations, Josh, on the position. I know you said in one of these streams that you had got a job with a Web3 company, so it's great to have you full time not in Cardano, in base and Cardano. Mm-hmm. But it's good, and it wouldn't be even any of these streams we've done before this. Before you were part of the project, you always mentioned Copy, mentioned Cornucopias. So it's a good match for yourself with the team there, and lots of good projects there. I think we all get in around the same kind of projects. You mentioned real world, tokenizing real world assets. Twin, I actually had a call with them today, just a general talk about where they are and what they're doing, and a few good things coming, a few good partnerships or that they have signed lately that will come out in time. So it's good to see that they seem to have a really solid real world business and connections behind the scenes before they're coming out with the token side and everything there. Deep in what I always talk about, that social media one, Pete, is definitely one I need to, I think it was you mentioned it as well. Vira, was it? It's been mentioned a few times lately across Twitter. I haven't looked at it yet. Are all of you guys on it? Am I the only one not?
I haven't heard of it. This is the first time. I need to do my research on that one.
Yeah, I'm not on it either.
Come on, guys. Jump on and reserve your names at least.
I did want to ask Pete a question. How is your internet speed? I was trying to understand what Igon needs.
It's my upload speed, I believe. So my upload speed is like 7 megabits per second, and that's abysmal. So like sometimes when I'm doing live streams, it cuts out. And if the because I'm in an apartment building, it's like one shared fiber cable. So if holiday people come in and they're just streaming at night, my internet connection sometimes disappears. So that's the problem.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know Paul had made a video a while back, and I wanted to give it a try. I did it on the test net, but I'll have to see if I can actually provide data here at the house on mainnet. So thank you.
It's really simple to test that, because you install the executable, the thing that will set you up, and that test is in the first few minutes of the setup. So it will know straight away if you're capable of doing it or not with your internet home connection there. So you can give up quicker, like I did.
No, I appreciate that. For Paul, I did have a question for the community about the book giveaway, right? So if it's okay, I'd like to see if anybody knows the total supply of book tokens available on the market, or just the total book supply.
Total supply, so not circulating supply.
Yeah.
Of the token or of the books?
Of the token. Of the book token.
And don't all leave the stream here to go look in. I see someone mentioned Charles
Somebody's got it already.
Well,
there
that's
it is.
Too easy.
Long-term viewer. So congratulations. Drop me an email or message on Twitter, and I'll make sure and get the book sent over as well. I'm not sure. I'll probably randomize which way we do it, which ones are given out, and send it over. It was 2 white papers, Frankenstein audiobook, and the 2-pack. So congratulations, that's 3. The final thing I'll do on this stream is pick the random winner from Twitter. I see we're coming up on the hour. So anything else you guys want to include, or closing thoughts, or from yourselves?
Just want to give a shout out. Yeah, it certainly did. I just want to give out a shout out to some other deep-in projects that are building on top of World Mobile as well, like Mav 100. I don't know if you guys have spoken to them yet, but they're doing some brilliant stuff implementing those air nodes out there. So I always wanted to set up an air node as well. I missed out on the World Mobile NFT, so I can't be an Earth node operator. It's just way too expensive now. But setting up an air node, I think, is absolutely brilliant, and then earning from the ecosystem that way and being a part of the infrastructure. It's just what World Mobile is about. So any project that is out there that is implementing that and taking it forth and doing it the way that they're doing it too, with the whole co-op system and setup, I think is absolutely brilliant. I know there's another one here in Australia that's going to do it as well. And with Australia's black hole of internet spots, you can drive out to the outback and you have no internet whatsoever. So having some of those hot air balloons, what do you call them, blimps, to distribute some of that internet connectivity around Australia would be absolutely amazing. So if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere with a flat tire and crocodiles are surrounding you and spiders are just about to kill you, you can call someone. I'm serious. That's not a joke. Just there's some backpackers that got stuck out in the middle of nowhere. I had to walk like a day and a half to get.
Oh, I believe it. No, Australia is on my list of countries that I never want to visit.
I would love to visit at some stage. I have family out there, but every time someone from Australia starts talking about the different things that are out there, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just go to the cities, or I don't know if I'll be venturing into the countryside.
I live here. I would love to go out to the outback and visit some of it, but then again, I don't.
And that speaks volumes for somebody who lives there. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Mr. T, when we're talking about World Mobile, I don't think the picture is Mickey. Mickey is Mr. T, isn't he, on Twitter? But Mr. T, thank you for tuning in. Is it infested with giant toads? Australia? We're really going off topic here.
Yeah, the cane toads are a problem.
I thought invested, and then I thought maybe giant toads was an NFT project or something that we weren't aware of.
Yeah, well, just watch out for the meme coin now that will appear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, does it, to kick off a new meme coin project? I
guess not.
By the end of this, it will probably be minted. I see we 2 projects joined us there as well. We had Indigo, looking forward to V2 coming out. I don't know if they're still there, if there is any updates on, is it by the end of April we will see V2, or was the audit fully closed out? Be good to see V2 coming out. And Splash, they were meant to have their token sale this week. As far as I know, it's pushed to next week. No dates on it yet. Looking forward to seeing what they bring out. I do like the open batcher system that anybody can run them. And I like the idea that people will be able to choose their batcher, because what this is going to do is it allows people, batchers, to set their own fees, to bring the fees down, to make it a better trading experience for everyone coming in. Dexes, everything that's going on there. I'd love to have that conversation sometime. I think we're going to have to move these up to every 2 weeks if you guys are available, or even a few of us getting on, because that hour flew by and I still had loads of different things to chat about. And I learned about lots of new projects that I have to go away and look at. So maybe we'll start scheduling them for every second week, and then whoever's available can come on and chat. But let me see, any Farid or Josh, anything from you guys to close us out?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pick this random retweet.
Twitter picker. No,
I'll let you.
Or, well, we're on YouTube too, so that
I'm going to do this one on Twitter, because the other ones were kind of in the comments here and they were all from YouTube. So I don't know if this one is going to let me do it. But Farid, anything from you while I'm trying to figure this out?
No, again, just excited to see all these builders finally deploying in. A lot of, token sales going on. Splash, you just highlighted there. Nuvola. Also want to give a shout out to the Sarah team, right? They also kicked off their ICPO and they added some bonuses there as well with fluid tokens, boosted staking, and any bonds coming in from the Optum finance protocol. So quite a bit there to keep up with. Frank, I know he's a big member of the CGI community and AI based chatbot on Twitter there as well. So again, just excited to be here, jump on and chat, have a little bit more of a laid back conversation. Always enjoy these, and thank you for the opportunity, Paul.
Yeah, look, I appreciate all you guys' time, and hopefully the community enjoys the conversation, learns about different projects that are out there in a more relaxed way too. And there is, what else was there? I think I have this now. So let's share the screen and see. So just for transparency, this is the Twitter post that had the reshares over on X. I keep calling it Twitter. Do we call it X now? Is it officially
Twitter?
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever not be Twitter.
Until they change that domain name. Like if it's still twitter.com, I'll call it Twitter.
Yeah, is there an X domain now?
There is. If you type in X, and if you share a profile, it will share it as X. But like you click on that, it will redirect it to Twitter. So they've got a long way to go to do the redirects and everything else.
Okay, I think the app on my phone is still the Twitter app, and then when I click a link off something else, it tries to bring me to the X app, and I haven't logged into that yet because I need to try and figure out the 2FA and everything for my phone. So I just been too lazy. But let's see, start contest. Is it going to tell me I have to log in? Important update has suddenly removed followers replies. We're very sorry. I don't care about any of that. You remember? So
if anyone's watching on Twitter, this is your last chance to do the retweets.
It's telling me I have to log in as Twitter. Is there any of these that work without logging in?
I think the one that I use works without logging in. Hang on, let me send it to you.
The Twitter picker one, right?
Yeah, that's the one that I use.
Twitter picker.
So this gives everyone a little bit more time to retweet that tweet. Come on, people. You can do it. If you're on the live stream watching on YouTube, jump over to Twitter. Just drop off the live stream, do the retweet. Paul's taking forever to do this.
This one here, Josh, is it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so load tweet. Does it pull the right one? Yeah, this is the one. So continue. 15 valid entries. Continue. Begin draw. And block by block. Congratulations. If you send me a DM, or I'll send you a DM after the stream finishes up here, and I'll get that book sent over to, if you just give me an address, and I need to figure out where the hardware wallet is, the controls. It was sent to my Ada handle, so I need to figure out what wallet that is, and then I can get it sent over after that. But I see we've Trim. Trim, definitely need to catch up soon to cover ZK scaling and partner chains. There was a few questions about side chains, partner chains, the sidechain toolkit. I don't think that just came to me there. There was a question on that earlier. I don't think there was any updates on that lately. As far as developer tools, someone was asking about that earlier on. Sorry, I can't remember who it was. But any recommendations, guys, for that? I would say the call I had with Phil, towards the end of that, he talked about different resources. I can't remember, was it the TX Pipe Discord? And there was a few other things for, especially for looking into Aiken, if you want to get started building. But I would say go back to that video and look at the very end of it for some of the recommendations. But anything you guys could add, and we'll close it out then.
Nothing else to add other than the TX Pipe crew are the ones that you want to talk to learn everything about Aiken and the whole dev environments. Using dmeter, I think, was a big game changer for myself, like playing around with smart contracts. And it takes away all that technical complexity of setting up nodes and infrastructure. So definitely check out what the TX Pipe team are doing there to help you on your dev journey.
Yeah, I think things like dmeter and then Maestro with the APIs, it definitely has made it a lot easier for different projects or dApps to bootstrap something very quickly to be able to test it. You can always go back and build the infrastructure yourself later, but as a quick setup, it's very handy. Well, guys, anyone who tuned in, thanks very much for tuning in. Do give the video a like if you haven't. Leave comments below if you're watching the replay. Share it out to let people know what's going on Cardano. The guys' channels are all listed down below. I'm sure everyone is subscribed at this stage, but if not, make sure you go over to them after this and subscribe. Might try and move these to every 2 weeks if people are interested in that. And I'll talk to all you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your time, guys.